Wow, that is a deluxe screen. One of the best screens size-wise and brightness-wise I've ever seen on. Let's unbox these server rack batteries from WattCycle. First, we've got some documentation here. Got some mounting brackets, it appears. Nice communication cable. 2 negative, 2 positive terminal caps. 2 folding handles. Some terminal screws and some additional hardware. We have a ground wire here and 2 short battery cables. And the writing on these particular cables is covered up, so I can't see exactly what gauge wire this is. But to hear my tower of power, that's 2 gauge right there. And you can see this is quite a bit smaller. So I would guess maybe this is 4 gauge, maybe, if I were to guess. It seems a little bigger than 6 gauge, that's for sure. And here's the battery, you guys. We've obviously got our negative terminals over here and our positive terminals over here. It does look like there's plenty of room from the top surface here to these screws that are sticking out. So I know some previous batteries have had issues with things shorting out to these screws in similar configurations, but this has a little higher standoff to the terminal way up here. So it'll probably be less of an issue on these. Got our communication ports right here. Nice big breaker right here. Let's flip it to the on position and let's turn this on and see what happens. Wow, that is a deluxe screen. One of the best screens size-wise and brightness-wise I've ever seen on a battery, period, let alone a server rack battery. Look how cool this is. We've got our state of charge indicator, voltages, temperatures, all kinds of stuff up here in the top. It looks like we can change the addressing on the pack. We're going to be testing that because we've got 2 of these batteries. I specifically requested 2 because I wanted to see how easy it was to set up the communication protocol between the 2. And check this out, guys. Active balancing right here. Equalizing switch is what they call it. We can turn it off and on. That is very nice because some people don't want the active balancer at all. It comes with one. But this is the first battery I've ever seen that has software control to enable or disable it, which is sweet. Let's go to cells. Oh yeah, look at that. You got all the individual cell information. Of course, this just has 16 cells, so we're not going to go all the way up to 24. And check that out. You've got 6 temperature sensors as well, and you access that by pushing this temperature button. The little battery button changes it to voltage. Come down here to alarm, and this will tell you your alarms and status of things. Go to chart. So I have to see this, but it looks like it charts maybe the state of charge, different spikes, and different things like that over the course of time. Click the set button here, so we can set our CAN protocol, and then we can come over here and we can scroll through and find different protocols. I mean, there's a lot here. We'll just start from the bottom. SAJ, TBB, GrowWatt, INVT, SMA, Studer, PV, 1800F, Solax, Sofar, Sorotech, Ginlong, A401, Goodwe, Victron, and PY/MEG/DEY. I'm guessing that's like Pylon Tech. And then we can come down here and configure RS485. And we've got PY/GOS, POW, GrowWatt, Voltronic, Pace, AGV, Tent Tech 01. Come down here to LCD. We get to configure the language. And last but not least, a product right here. Oh, that's cool. So it just kind of gives you your information about the battery itself. So I am so impressed and in love with this screen. I can't wait to see it in action here. The standard charge discharge rate is 50 amps continuous, going up to 100 amps for max. And we should have overcurrent protection that kicks in at 110 amps plus or minus 10 amps. Something that's a little bit unique. The short side with these elongated holes are going to go on the top, and this hole and this hole down here is what the handle connects to. And if you look right here, the 2 holes on the other side of the bracket line up perfectly to work with this screw. So I probably have to take that screw out and put it back in, as well as a new hole right there. Okay, we've got the 2 handles on. And then also be sure and have your head screwed on to make sure that the handle only folds one direction. So make sure it folds the direction you want it. In my case, I wanted it going to the inside. That way it didn't stick out beyond the side of these little ears. All right, let's do a battery capacity test on these WattCycle server rack batteries. You can see they are both at a 100% state of charge. I've got the Victron Smart Shunt right here. That's what's going to be monitoring and metering that, and you can see I've zeroed everything out. All right, results of the capacity test. You can see we're at 0% state of charge on that battery, 0% state of charge on that one, They're both hovering between 45 and 46 volts, so not dead, but the batteries did shut off. And the results here are 196 amp hours out of 200. So certainly within the margin of error. I'm going to run capacity test just one more time, just for fun, and see what results we have at that point. Okay, the second battery discharge test, capacity test finished, and I wish I had the camera rolling because I had my Victron Smart Shunt open. I was monitoring it as it was running, and it was just about to 200. It was 198.7 amp hours, and the packs shut down and killed power to the shunt, which is normal, but for some reason, maybe because I was actively monitoring that, it did not record anything in the history on that shunt. But like I said, it was almost 199. It might have turned over to that before the power turned off, within the margin of error for full capacity on both of these batteries together. Let's just take a quick look at their app. We've got a percentage of battery remaining. Right now I'm charging, so it's giving us an estimated time to fully charged. Down here we've got a temperature gauge. We can toggle charging and discharging off and on here. You can rename the battery right up here. You can see the battery voltage, and if you tap on that, that will give you a little more in-depth view of what the voltage is doing. Then we've got our amperage and our watts, and that's all on this page. It all fits here. You don't even scroll or anything. It's pretty sweet. And then if you just come down here to this bottom About tab, there's a secret setting menu right here. And WattCycle is super legit because they allow you to modify certain parameters on their BMS. And if you don't know what you're doing, don't mess with them, just leave the defaults, and the defaults are pretty good. The main one I wanted to look at is, remember how in the manual it was saying something about being set to below freezing? Well, we can see right here the actual programming is 32 degrees. Let's test internal communications with these batteries. So now let's go ahead and power the BMS units down. Just takes them a few seconds, they'll go off. I've got this cable right here. And if you take a look on the communication ports, we have a link in and a link out, okay? So we need to go from the link out port right here to the link in port on the other battery. So we'll just go ahead and connect this up like that. Easy. Now we'll go ahead and boot up the BMSs again. So now if you take note, up here at the top, we've got this pack addressed as pack number 1. And if you take a look at this screen right here, you can see how the pack address is set to number 2, and that can be changed right here with those toggle buttons. I got the 12,000 XP here, and the conduit box is right down here, and you can see I've just patched into the communication cable that's normally going into this wall mount battery. I've just extended it over, and here's the end of that cable, and we're simply going to come and plug that into the CAN bus port like that. And then right now I'm just running off of voltage, so I'm going to come into the menu, and we're going to change it to a lithium battery. And then down here, it's going to ask us what type. We're going to come here and we're going to select the pylon protocol. Come back here, we can see that we've got a 100% state of charge on the battery. And here on the monitoring app, it is detecting the voltage and the state of charge. It says it's 100% state of charge. And then if we scroll down here, you can see that it's detecting 2 batteries in parallel with a total battery capacity of 200 amp hours. So you have closed loop communication easy between those server rack batteries from WattCycle and the EG4 12000 XP or any other EG4 inverter. Let's do heavy load testing on one of these batteries. 2 48 volt battery chargers. Those are currently running right now at 2,200 plus watts, 43 amps. Let's go ahead and turn our heat gun on, and let's go ahead and turn the heater on. See what we got. 90, 115, 113, 121 amps, 119, 115, 5,000 watts. Oh, we're getting a warning here. Discharge overcurrent alarm, it says. So it probably won't let us run over 100 amps continuously very long here. So can this produce 100 amps of current? Absolutely. Does it recognize when it goes over? Absolutely. Let's take a look inside this server rack battery. I'm liking what I'm seeing already, but check out the huge size of BMS this has. That's awesome to see. And they've done a really nice job of keeping the cables all tidy and nice. And probably my favorite feature, look, they are using bus bars to connect the main negative here from the pack to the BMS. Now you can see that comes off and comes through here and comes up to the main terminal. And then you can also see that on the main positive here, we've got a similar bus bar setup. Even this little cable down here is nicely zip tied. All right, ready for the big reveal here? Ooh, look at that, you guys. Okay, the thing that jumped out at me most is, check this out. We got all these balance cables coming in here, and they're all nicely protected and incredibly managed. And check this out. At every point where the balance leads need to come, they've tucked them underneath these metal lips right here. So the cables are basically out of sight completely. And they've gone ham with zip tie, zip tie, zip tie, zip tie, zip tie, zip tie, zip tie. I mean, every possible location they've zip tied those cables. You can see them all along here. So I say WattCycle gets big points for cable management. This is insane. We've got welded on bus bars with little relief hump there in the middle, which is good to see. Then I've got a temperature sensor right here, another one right here, a third one right here, and a fourth one down here. It looks like you might be able to get a QR code scan there. I don't have that app, but maybe if I can get this to focus in enough, maybe you guys can figure out which particular cells these are. And then notice we've got metal compression here, same thing down here. And then this big huge plate across the front here, the BMS is mounted on, is also compressing back on the cells. So the cells are very nicely compressed in this case. So I think WattCycle has really knocked this out of the park. And this has a very premium build to it with a very acceptable price. Do you guys agree with me? Let me know down in the comments. So yeah, guys, be sure and check out